Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers on the Xbox on the Series X for a very quick tutorial on the basic functions of the remote control block, because now we've lost access to the automaton's beta functions, and now we must wait until Keen deliver the full update. We are without our nice shiny new remote control toys, so we can only play around with the remote control block. And if you've ever seen my other videos on the remote control block, there are ways to make drones, including this patrol drone over here, move from point to point to point. And I thought, considering those are old tutorials now, it might be an idea to come back to the remote control block itself and do a little refresher. So this is what we're going to do, because you can, with the remote control block, do a cargo drone. You'll see my cargo drone over here that scoots between 2 points, drops off cargo, picks up cargo, but that isn't as fine control as the automaton's beta event controller block. So this just uses a combination of timers on the drone itself and waypoints with waypoint commands. But that's more advanced stuff. This is basic. Let's get back to this little test drone here and show you a few things. So to start with, you're going to need a drone, and drones need to be built however you want, but make sure that the thrusters are on all directions. A remote control block will not work without thrusters in all directions, or at least it won't work as well. You will get some errors. Next thing you want to do is you want to know the difference between putting down waypoints for a drone to use and putting down waypoints for you in control. If you're in control like this, for instance, if we go to our inventory and then tap left trigger, we'll go to our waypoint. If we press X, we'll get waypoint 5. Waypoint 5 is put in at the current position of the player. So as we pull back, you'll see our waypoint here is in the level of the player. When you're dealing with drones, you want to go into the drone itself by going to inventory, light drone 2, remote access. Now, remote access will only work if you have a remote control and an antenna on the grid. Then you can either look at the terminal in the drone and see its various parts, or you can take direct control of it. If we take control of our drone now, go back and do a new waypoint, waypoint 6, and then pull back, you'll see that waypoint 6 is lower than waypoint 5. The reason for this is because it's drawing the waypoint now from the remote control. So if you want to do anything with a drone, you want to set your waypoints at remote control rather than player. So if we just go here to GPS, come down again, and we've got 5 and 6. So we just delete those by pressing Y. Basic remote control functions. If we go into our control panel, and I've hidden all the blocks except the one I wanted, which is the remote control. Let's make sure I'm in. Yeah, let's leave the remote control by pressing X, so we're back in control of the ship. So remote control, you can set it to your main remote control. And for most things, collision avoidance, until we get automatons, is bitty at best. It's not great, and it's certainly not good for when you want drones to dock. And precision mode, you can take or leave. Precision mode on Earth-like will give you a better quality of control in terms of bringing your drone to rest. But for now, we're going to set up some waypoints for this basic drone operation. So we've got our drone and we're in control. Remember what I said? Go to your panel, Light Drone 2, remote access, control. So now we're in control. What we're going to do is we are just going to go to GPS and we're going to go new from current position, and then we're going to move forwards here. GPS, new from current position, and we're going to move over here. Go GPS, new from current position, and finally over here. GPS, new for current position. Now we have 5, 6, 7 and 8. We can rename those if we want, but for now we'll just use them as part of the remote control. So down on the remote control we want to use the left stick and move all the way down until we hit waypoints, and then we want to go beyond waypoints and go to the first waypoint, which is 6. Holding down the right bumper, go to 5, go to 7 and go to 8. Now don't worry about the order for now. We just want to add them to our actual remote control. Then move up on the left stick and we go select our 5 and tell it to move up in the order. So we've got 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now they are now added as part of our remote controls set. We have flight mode at 1 way. So at the moment, all it will do is go round those 4 waypoints and do nothing else. It will stop. If we go to circle, it should continue on those waypoints without too much trouble. To test it, we can add our remote control block to our grid, come out of the remote control, back to the control seat, hold the direction on the D-pad you want, and select your remote control block. I've already done it, but remote control, and you want autopilot on off, and then pop autopilot on. And now what it will do, it will take the remote control to each location. And what I've done with the remote control is I've actually built it over the top of my connector. This is important if ever you want to do any kind of auto docking. At least try and do something similar. You want your remote control over your connector. It was the same in the automatons beta. It's the same in regular Space Engineers for now. But all of this will become a lot simpler, a lot easier, and a lot more intuitive come the release of automatons. And we don't have a definite release date yet on it, sadly. We have lots and lots of feedback we've given to Keen, though, from the automatons beta, and hopefully we'll see a load more events added to the event controller, because it would be nice to have them for people that don't want to create an engineered solution to the problem of the event controller not picking up a button press, for instance, or so on. Why have extra grids built onto your grid when one block could do it all? That's the idea. Cuts down on the PCU, cuts down on the time and trouble. So as you can see with this, though, we are tootling from 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 in a circle, and our drone is patrolling nicely. If we have collision detection on and there's a grid in the way, it will attempt to move out the way. But as I said, it's not so great with that, and it's certainly not so great with voxels. Before now, it's smashed things into mountains and so on. So to get away with that, you really have to set every waypoint that you want it to go to avoid an obstacle. And when it comes to auto docking, when it comes to, say, like a platform or landing on a landing pad I've got over there, collision detection or collision mode is certainly not going to be your friend, because it's going to make your grid dance up and down and up and down, and it might not dock at all. So turn off our remote control. Go to our GPS menu and go all the way down to 5, 6, 7, and 8. Start with 5. Press Y. Press Y. Press Y. Press Y. Go to our control panel, our remote control. Go down onto our remote. Hold down the A button like you would parts in the grid itself. Move down on the stick. Left stick, remove. So we've now cleared our waypoints. So this waypoint doesn't work. The remote control won't do anything. So how do we make this drone go back to that yellow platform over there, land and lock the connector? Can we do this using the regular remote control? Yes, we can. So what we're going to do first is we're going to pilot our little drone over here. And just like we would with the new recorder blocks, just bring your drone down for now and pop it just on your connector to begin with. We're going to create a little home location. Lock it down so it's not bobbling around everywhere, just for now, while you go into your remote control again. Light Drone 2, remote access. Choose Light Drone 2, press A. We're now in control using the remote control itself, and it's picking up GPS coordinates from the remote control, not from us. And that's important, as I said, for drones, because drones don't normally have human pilots. Then unlock your drone and go up in the air to wherever you want, say 50, 100 meters, whatever. We'll say about 60 meters, 61. Go to your GPS coordinates and press X, which is your new from current position. Come out of that and then bring your drone back down. You can put a series of waypoints in between if you want to do more actions, but honestly, for this demonstration, all we want is to come back onto our landing pad, settle down, drop our ready to lock, unlock it again so the drone is just above, go GPS, new from current position. Have we got it right? We should be able to take this drone off, pull it back, and wait here for a second as we stabilize. Then pop open our panel after we leave the key remote control with X. So we're now just in the control seat. Pop along to our control panel, pop along to our remote control. Use the left stick to navigate these menus all the way down to 6 and 5. And now we want that order, 6 and 5, into our thing, like so. Now if you look, you can see our waypoint 6 and our waypoint 5. So now we want to go to 5 and 6. So we want to change that order down here in our little menu. You can see it's going 5 at the end. So we just want to do it again, move it up. So now we're on 5 and 6. So the first point that our drone will go to is 5, and then the second point it will go to is 6. And before we leave this menu, we just want to select 6 and then use the left stick to come down until we hit our set of actions. Click that. Choose our connector on the drone and tell it to lock. Next thing we want to do is go up, and we want to turn flight mode to one way. We don't want any circling or patrolling on this particular thing, so we just want it on one way. And then when we press up on the D-pad for our autopilot, it'll bring our drone to here, then it will move down, and if it reaches it right, it should lock it. If it doesn't lock it, it means that that particular waypoint is just slightly out, and so you can do it again. It's all pretty much not trial and error, but as I said, the new blocks are much better at doing this stuff than the old blocks. So you just want to look at your actions again. Make sure you've got that connector locked. So what we can do is we know this particular position, so we can adjust our remote control a little. So go to your GPS and come down until you get to waypoint 6, delete it, back across to your control panel, go to remote control, select waypoint 6 in there as well, remove it, go back to your GPS, and actually go back into your remote access first, take control, now go into your GPS and new from current position, should be all right there. We can lock the connector, so that's good. So move it out of the way, shift that, come back in, back to your remote control, all the way back to your waypoint list, because we need to re-add our waypoint 6. Click add, go back to waypoint 6, set up an action on it, and lock our connector. Leave the remote control. Make sure our remote control is doing its thing. Yep, there's an action set to waypoint 6. Try it again. And I said, you have to occasionally fiddle with this stuff to get it to work, because the remote control can be a little finicky. And it seems to be turning off the remote control when we land as well, which is something it shouldn't be doing. Again, as I said, this thing is a little bit bugged. Shouldn't be turning the remote control off, which is bizarre. But this is Space Engineers, and well, as we know with Space Engineers, you can do many things in Space Engineers. Thing there going on. You can do many things with Space Engineers, and there's always going to be something that goes potentially wrong. But in theory, it should lock the grid down. You could also use a timer block on the drone, which might be a better idea, and lock the grid there. But in my demonstrations before, it's worked, so there could be something slightly awry with Space Engineers. As I said, it is one of those games that will particularly do this on you when you least expect it. We just leave it like that for now, but that's how to move it between two waypoints. And you might find that when you do it and you set your remote control. It'll be fine. Anyway, that is pretty much how to get the remote control to move between 2 points. There's more advanced stuff you can do with timer blocks, but for the first attempt, you just need to make a drone and make it go between several points, and then you can bring it to rest on a landing pad. You could have a sensor detect the grid and lock down the landing pad, but then you have to work out how you're going to make the sensor. You could turn the sensor off with a timer block or a button press and launch the drone. There's numerous things you can do, but that's all I've got time for this morning. I will be back again with more Space Engineers tutorials and the good stuff. Obviously, I'll be hammering automatons when that comes out, a full showcase of the whole thing, plus the DLC that will inevitably come with it, and all that good stuff. Until then, though, stay safe, take care, have fun, enjoy the game, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.